Shalom, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 First Fruit. Brother Kasha Qual from GMS Atlanta Church here in Georgia. Coming back at you with another swift lesson in the spirit. And this lesson is going to be pertaining around how we know more than the ancient men that we actually read about. All right, so without further ado, I'm jumping right into it. Psalm 119 and 100. I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts. All right, again, I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts. So us is literally what it's saying. This precept pertains to us today. We know more than what these men who were writing this did back then. We do. Now this is where the debate can come in. Are we more spiritual? Because at the end of the day, they were closer to the Lord than we are now, due to the fact that we've gone through the most harshest slavery and still are going through the harshest slavery ever that's been on the face of the planet Earth. Okay, this bondage is harder than what we were going through in Egypt. Okay, like our people are totally lost and gone. At least in Egypt, most of the people knew that they were Israelites. Okay, simple. Today, nobody knows like that. You know what I'm saying? The average Joe Schmo Negro or Native American, because let me use Native Americans because we always use the so-called Negro. Let me use the so-called Native Americans because that's a simple-ass tribe. The tribe of Gad, they're simple, all right? There's not a lot of them that know that they're an Israelite, okay? But still, according to Romans, the second chapter, kind of keep the customs because it's an inclination. The word inclination means a natural tendency to do something. But when we wake up to this thing and start seeing the prophecies unfold via reading the scripts, we understand it because we know the precepts. Now, those men who got them visions, I'm bringing up a few examples in the scripts. The men who got those visions, they couldn't understand of what they were perceiving at the time. When you read Second Esdras, he was talking. I'll pull it. He was talking about Yahweh Shai coming in on a big mountain. And today, we know very well that the big mountain that he saw is just a big old chariot, which is the vehicle of the Lord. Right there explain to you how we understand more than the ancient do. All right, so this is Second Esdras chapter 13. And this is like probably arguably my favorite chapter in the Bible. So it says, bear with me one second. I'm gonna skip to the point. All right. So it says, verse 6, 2 Esdras 13 and 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. Now, come on now. We know dang well that is a chariot that he's trying to explain. When the scripts was written, it always said called chariots clouds, a pillar of fire, mountains. They did say chariots, cherubims, certain little names like that, but we know they're the so-called UFOs that, the white man calls it nowadays. We know what those vehicles are today. He didn't know how else to explain that. We know those are the vehicles of the angels. Okay? Which, when you read the Kings and things of that nature, because some of these vehicles of the angels were actually fighting in battles with the Israelites. I'm pretty sure they knew what what they were, but the way they wrote them, they didn't have the full, like a as good of an understanding as we do today. You know, so let's go get Daniel 12:4 real quick. It says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up thy words and seal the book, even to the time of the end which we're in. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. It's simple. Knowledge shall be increased. I'm doing a lesson on a laptop right now on the internet where I can just simply look things up. I got the scrolls electronically on a laptop right now. That's knowledge being increased. I can go to Google and type in UFO, and there will be videos and pictures of UFOs that pop up. Simply like that. There was just a recent UFO video. What I'm just saying UFO, but we know it's the vehicles of the Lord, the chariots, the angels. There was just a recent one where there was a Russian jet flying, and two so-called UFOs went past it. All right, and actually interrupted the signal of that plane. All right, and you could see them clearly. Different type of vehicles. All right, that's what Ezra's was trying to explain. But through the precepts that we learn, all right, through the precepts that we learn, we get the understanding. Let's just jump to Psalm 119, 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding. So through the precepts of the scripts, we understand what a chariot is. We understand what a great mountain was. We understand what a pillar of fire is. You see what I'm saying? And we understand more than the ancients because of the precepts, because I keep thy precepts. All right? I'm going to give you another example to show you how we're, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything of that. We're smarter than the ones, the ancient. We're living in a time where knowledge, the spirit gets quickened. All right, very at a fast pace. There's men who, I know there's the order to where men are no longer to join the camp, but there's been men who start at this latter end who joined the camp, but they already knew everything. When sometimes back in the day, a man joins the camp, oh, you have to learn the alphabet, you have to learn this, you got to learn that, or they may have took the soldier test and passed it, but they gotta learn a little bit more. There's men coming in now are waking up to the truth that know all of that already, know the simple thing. They trying to get the meat now. You see, knowledge increases. But just an example of how we understand more than the ancient. This is Acts 1, and I'll start at 6, 1 and 6. This is perfect. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom of Israel? Because, Yahushua had came back after, he gave it the spirit on the cross, and then he conquered death and, left the tomb. He came back to sup with them, and they were asking him questions, and this was one of them. So have you come back to restore the kingdom back to Israel? Like, no, man. And today we know it. That during that time, it wasn't time yet. But they didn't understand it at the very time. They were super zealous and like, bro, look, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, get us out of here. Are you here to restore it again? Let's keep reading. Verse 7, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or season which the Father hath put his own power. So nobody knows the time or hour, but we understand that now through the precepts, through the prophecies. I'm sorry, hold on. We understand the prophecies through the precepts. Certain prophecies that happen now, we understand more than, of course, when they wrote it. But we understand definitely Acts 1 and 7. We know we're in the end times now. We know it's about that time. But we also have the idea of we don't know the exact moment. Like the men here in Acts, the first chapter, they didn't know the exact moment. That's why they asked the question. We don't need to ask this question anymore because the precept is here for us. We just know that it's coming soon, very soon. And through our faith, we believe that it's coming in our lifetime soon. You see? I'm a 20-year-old, some odd individual. And for me to say that all hell's going to break loose, missiles are coming, famine, pestilence, diseases, all these things, women getting raped in the streets, heads getting cut off, the chip coming out, martial law, highways being shut down, people starving to death, crazy tornadoes and weather going around, demons starting to manifest themselves in front of people, demons actually starting to put their hands on people, apparitions, all these things happening, and chariots flying around in the sky, angels coming down and manifesting themselves unto the men of the Lord healing people. For me to say all these things are going to happen in my lifetime, first, that's a bold statement, and that's how you know it's coming soon. I'm a 20-year-old, some odd individual. Okay? And for me to say that, and I'm not just saying me like, oh, when I say it is no, I'm just implying. I'm just making myself as an example. For a young man like me to say it's coming in my lifetime, in our lifetime, that's how you know that we're very close to all this just shutting down. You see what's happening in California right now? They're shutting down the power for 5 days. 5 days. A lot of people gonna die. This is a test run for Jacob's Trouble. This is a test run for the military to come shut shit down, man. Shutting the power down for 5 days is a perfect time to go clip motherfuckers, man. Excuse my Swahili. All right, but it's true. It's coming, and we understand these things through the prophets. That's why we understand more than the ancients. We're actually going through the times that they were prophesying about. That's why these scriptures resonate with the men who believe in this so well. And even the women. There's women who are with men who believe this, and they believe too. And they believe the same things. That, hey, this is about to it's about to pop like a cherry. You know what I'm saying? But we understand more than the ancient. Because we keep the precepts. Therefore, we know the times that we're in. Okay? Just examples like Acts 1 and 2nd Ezra's. Shoot, let me go to Revelation, the 9th chapter, for another example of how we have more understanding than the ancient. So, I'm not going to go through the whole chapter, but hey, shoot, I'll read verse 5. And to them, Revelation 9 and 5, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was the torment of the scorpion and Salakia. Okay, Salakia, I'm back. So it says, and their torment was the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. Just an example, okay? Just an example. All right. Well, those 5 months are 5 years. That's the 1914 to the 1919, which is World War One. Because Revelation 9 is speaking about World War One. They will be tormented for those 5 years. All right. And the torment was the torment of the scorpion. The scorpion was the goddamn machine guns on the back of the airplanes. Let me see if I can find the locust. Okay, here's a good one. And there came out of the smoke, verse 3, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. You see? As the scorpions of the earth have power. So it says power was given unto them. The locust was speaking about the World War I planes. Okay? All right? Because during World War I, those planes flew really low, doing simple airstrikes on the men on the ground, because it said they're coming out of the smoke. There's smoke on the ground arising. Of course, smoke goes up, and they're cutting through that smoke, and it was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. The scorpions are the machine guns. At the time, machine guns were on earth carried by the men shooting at each other. But man, or Esau, had the idea to put those scorpions or machine guns on the locusts or the airplanes to give the airplanes power. Now they're shooting from the sky. Simple. But when John the Revelator was perceiving World War One, he could only describe. You got to remember, this was during like 96 A.D. But when he was having this vision, the only way he could describe it is of what he knew during the time. He knew what a locust was. He said a locust because the plane sounded like a locust. You see, you ever been outside in the nighttime, you hear the locusts, they kind of sound like brrr, brrr, brrr. When you hear the airplanes of the World War One, they sound like brrr. That sound like a locust to him. That's the best way he could describe it. And then he said the scorpions, because they got a stinger, they sting, it hurts, and they poison and they kill. So he could only describe the machine guns as a scorpion stinger. You see? But through the precepts, we can break this down and understand what he's talking about. You see? So I'm going to read Psalm 119 and 100 again. I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts, man. So Lord willing, now is edifying. And it's just something to think about. We do know more than what those men who wrote these scripts for us today. And shoot, some of the men that are preaching on the highways and byways today are some of the men who wrote this book. Back then, it's called Reincarnation. And through the precepts, we understand reincarnation. Okay? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Hakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Brother Kasha Kuala. Until next time, like always, Shalom.